Hello everyone. So in this video, I thought I'll probably share my top 10 mostly used features of Emacs slash org mode. Now, whenever I talk about org mode or whenever I talk about Emacs, I basically talk about them together. But of course, you can use Emacs without org mode. But if you're using org mode, you are anyways using Emacs. So whenever I talk about these features, some of them will of course work without org mode as well. But of course, I'm using this word of Emacs slash org mode because I use org mode. And in case you want to improve your life, in case you want to become efficient when it comes to basically doing a lot of things like note taking, managing your projects, managing your activities, or basically maintaining your list of tasks that you want to plan well ahead in time, or maybe if you are looking for a solution where you can publish HTML or PDF or create presentations or manage your text-based files using org mode, then you can of course watch my videos because I do talk about it quite a lot. And in this video, I just want to talk about top 10 things that I do quite a lot. I'm not really saying that these are the only good features of Emacs slash org mode. There are so many other things that you can do with it, but at the same time, these are, I was just thinking about what things I do a lot, and these top things came to my mind. But I'll probably include more similar features, and these are not really like full-fledged things that you would do. I'm talking about like small improvements that I have done to my org mode, or maybe missing, or not really missing, but hidden tips that you can also apply to your workflow. So the first thing that I do quite a lot is basically to split the window. So if you press Ctrl X3, you can split the window vertically, and this vertical split is something that I don't really I do vertical split quite a lot, but I don't really do horizontal split, which of course you can do if you press Ctrl X2, because I just have one big, it's not that big, I believe it's like 25-inch monitor, and I think it is enough, but sometimes I do split it horizontally. But vertical split is very common for me because I do it all the time, because it is actually very convenient to simply have two windows where I can work on one main activity on the left hand side. Or basically I try to keep things because whenever you do a split, your left hand side window is, or in my case I prefer it to be my main buffer. And this is also the case when you're using DWM. If you're using DWM, you might be familiar with this concept. Like you can press Alt Shift Enter to have a split like this. And usually your main window would be on the left hand side, like where you want to work, your main window where you are doing your work, because that is your focus, that is where your cursor's focus is. But sometimes you also have to swap your buffer. So for example, if on the left hand side I'm talking about this list, but if I go to my next buffer, and by the way you can do it using Ctrl X-O. So Ctrl X-O will basically switch your focus, your cursor. It will basically take your focus from one buffer to another buffer, the next one in the list. So if I, let us say, open maybe something else here, let us say I open the list of all my blogs in the current directory, and I want it to be on the left hand side. So I've done this manually. I think I made a video on this topic. If I press Ctrl X, Ctrl Enter, it will basically swap the buffer for me, and it is really convenient and really useful. Now, the other thing that I do quite a lot is I basically also do some kind of let us say, insertion of templates very quickly. I'll talk about resize in a minute because resizing is something that, okay, let us first talk about resize. So let us say you're looking at this particular blog or whatever file that you have. Now you can actually resize the content of, the font size. You can actually do control and press or use your mouse key, which, mouse wheel, not key. And it is actually really convenient, but I don't really do it. I use Control X, Control plus. And if you're using Emacs, you're more used to control, and I just keep on doing it. And if you press Control X, Control plus, then you can keep on pressing plus or minus, and then it will keep on zoom in or zoom out. But if you want to do it again, let us say you want to initiate this or trigger this command, you can press Control X, Control minus, and it will reduce the size. So it is something that I do quite a lot. And because I'm making this video, I'm talking about these things, I have to think about these keys because my fingers know about these keys, not really my brain. I mean, it's like the muscle memory. Now, this fourth item in the list is insertion of templates very quickly, wherever you want. And let me show you. So let us say you're looking at this blog post, and maybe I want to basically insert like a code snippet or anything basically, but in this example I'll show you code snippet. So I can press this left angled bracket and press S, and if I press tab, it will insert this block. And usually it's like a code block, right? And it is like my own custom template that I can use. For example, if I want to have the same thing for Groovy, because I do maintain a lot of Groovy scripts, so I can also do this. And it is of course convenient because I can have it will save time. Not only it will have this code block, and by the way, in my init file, I have this code block displayed in a different color, so it looks like a code, and you can do that very easily. The next one I have in the list is, of course, my popular literate programming. So literate programming is something that I use quite a lot. For example, if I have to maybe explain a command. For example, if I have to talk about what shall I do here? Okay, let us insert date. So if I want to, it could be any command. So right now I'm running a shell command, but it can be any code that you want to run. For example, if I want, I can also run a Groovy code here, and it will run Groovy code for me. It is so convenient. And good thing about this approach is that literate programming is that literate programming is a way to maintain your code in your document and like a runnable code, which not only you can run, but you can also display the output of that particular code in your document itself. So whenever you run this command, it will display this result straight away in the same in the same file. And it is amazing, by the way. You can, if you're writing a technical documentation, this is amazing. Now, the next one in the list is like going back to the previous buffer. So the way Emacs works is that you have different buffers, but like this is one buffer, this is one buffer on the right hand side. But sometimes you have to, for example, I was working on that post or blog, whatever file. I can go back to the buffer by doing Control X and then Control B or simply B, and I can go back to the previous or maybe the default buffer like this. But I can also press Control X right arrow or Control X left arrow. So this is, quick and efficient. What else? Okay, so the next one I have in the list is inserting dates. Now, if you're working with org mode, you would be dealing with tasks that you want to do on a specific date, or maybe you want to capture dates because dates are everywhere. I made a video where I talked about how I use org mode to capture my meeting minutes. And whenever I have to capture dates, I simply press Control C dot, and it will let me select a date. And not only you can select a date like this, you can also select like a date range. For example, if I want to do something from 5 o'clock till 5:30, I can also insert it like this. Very convenient and super quick. Of course, you can do it manually. You don't have to use this Control C dot. You can always do something like 2023 01 02, and if you press Control C, it will actually fix or display the actual day. So this is something that you can do very easily, because these are some native features in org mode. And the next one I have in the list is narrowing and widening. This is amazing. I love this feature. And let me show you how it works. So let us say I'm working on this big file, and I want to maybe just, maybe I just want to talk about FFmpeg, or maybe I just want to focus on this particular task or this particular heading. Maybe I'm making a blog post, or maybe I'm making not a blog post, but I'm making a video, and I just want to focus on this header. That is it. Because right now FFmpeg starts at 117th line, and if I want to have like a clear view of this, I can press Control C. Not Control C, sorry, I forgot. Control X NS. Sorry, Control X NS. And now it will just show only that particular header. And this is amazing, right? So, because if you now want to maybe present it to someone, you can use org-tree-slide mode, or presentation tree-slide presentation mode, or you can use this feature. I use it quite a lot. And Control X and W will take you back. It will basically widen the view for you. So this is super cool. And the next one is again I use a lot, because whenever I use, you don't have to use or like Emacs, because I use Emacs with my own customizations, and I run it from a directory, which is something that I sync with all of my devices. I use Emacs and org mode as a portable application. So I have all my configurations, all the additional applications, plugins. I basically have them installed, and I want it to be there in all of my computers. But you don't have to run Emacs like this. You can always run Emacs like this, and it will install, not install, it will basically run Emacs, which is not really customized like this. It is fine, not a problem with this, but I prefer to use the Emacs with my own color scheme and with my own customizations. So I can also run Emacs if I want as a client. So Emacs client -c, and maybe you want to open let us say text.txt. So basically it will open like a client of my same Emacs, which I am running anyways. And this is basically the same client, and it is now connected to my server. So this is something that I do quite a lot, by the way, using this client. The next item I have in my list is tagging, or inserting different tags. For example, if you're making let us say you're working on this FFmpeg header and you want to insert a tag, you can always insert a tag by using this command called Control C, Control Q, and you can insert a tag like no export. Right, this is one tag. I can insert one more. Maybe I want to make a video on this topic. Maybe I want to remove the tag. I can press, and I can basically remove everything. So Control C, Control Q is the tag. And there are so many, these are not the only features. I use like a lot of other features in Emacs, but these are the top 10. And I thought I'll probably share it with all of you, because maybe you're like me, maybe you are interested in learning Emacs and org mode, or maybe you just want to know what common things I do or people like me do with Emacs and org mode. All right, that is it. That is all for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.